I'm gonna hit.
Yeah.
Wow. If you listened on Monday, you'll remember that or on Sunday, there was a story that John was going to tell me. He just told it to me. It's a new day. You can tell because I have a different background.
I changed my shirt because it's 3 different days from then to now.
My God.
Yeah, it really delivers, doesn't it? It's also
holy shit.
Isn't that beginning of that story? That's a real buy-in. Like you got to really, because I can see in your eyes going, "Where's this going, pal?" And then when it gets to where you're going, you're like, "Well, we've arrived, haven't we?"
Fuck that, dude.
Cool. It's like one of those ones where you're like, I would like to buy a new skin. I would like new skin. I don't like this skin. This skin has seen too much. It's too much.
It's what we need right now is the chat to say weird things to like lighten the mood. This is the final pre-recorded episode.
This is the final pre-recorded episode.
It's the final pre-record. This is it. Countdown.
I liked the pre-record in that we kept going and I enjoyed that, but I did really miss the chat. Like I was like, oh, that was the other element to this. It was the interaction.
Yeah, it's like when the band goes, and now let us introduce the 5th member and bring up the house lights.
Yeah, but when we do it, it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But God damn it, we missed the chat. I can't wait to see you guys again. I hope everybody makes it out. It's Saturday, July 8th.
Saturday, July 8th.
July 8th. The old time. We're doing 10 p.m.
10 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. LA time, 5 p.m. Toronto time. Will you be working at a bar that night, Chris?
No, I'm going to book that day off because the restaurant shuts like last orders at 4:30, so I can't guarantee that I'd be back. So I'm just going to say I can't work that Saturday.
Here's my question. Are you working at a brunch place? I'm confused. Mm-hmm. What are your jobs? Because you moved to so basically, this is the thing with the service industry is this is how I have a job waiting for me in the city goes. You don't.
Oh, I did. It was just boring and killing me. So I left.
Oh wait, was that the bank bar job? I thought there was another restaurant that wasn't open. There was another. I thought there was another one.
That was the one that wasn't open, and it was finally opened. And I worked there for a few months, and I hated it. And so I left. And when I left, even the GM was like, "I get it, man. Thanks for doing what you did. And if this new place doesn't work out, you always got a spot here," which is very sweet.
Would you go back? I feel like you're not going back.
No, I can't go back. It was fucking crazy. And also, like, now that I'm earning tips again, the money's so much better.
Yeah, like, tips are good.
So much better. So I'm, everyone, who doesn't complain about 20% becoming the new norm? Guys that are in the 20%.
I mean, first of all, but 20. Here's what I don't like about this is that I've been giving 20% this whole fucking time.
Well, that's like Jamali's thing about how he used to be sexually adventurous because he ate ass, and now when he eats a girl's ass, they're like, and then what? And what? he's got no more gears.
I completely agree with him. Also, I'm done with Gen Z fucking thinking that they were the sexually adventurous ones. I'll say this. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We ate ass and popularized small batch brewing. You want to talk about sexually adventurous? Heading towards someone's asshole after they've had an IPA from a fucking bathtub, then you talk to me about fucking adventurous. Fucking bullshit. Oh, we've had a threesome. You fucking talk to me after you've just drank 2 of whatever a delirium
oatmeal chocolate stout.
Exactly. You talk to me after you've had 2 you've watched a woman have 3 chocolate stouts and thought, anal, that it's for dinner. Like, go fuck yourself. They're adventurers in the way that the people died in that fucking submarine are adventurers. You're looking at fucking Shackelford, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Who also died. Let's not, if anyone's gonna get mad, our guy died too. So
ironically though, but Earl Shackelford died by being shot by his mistress in his bed. So
still dead. Dead.
And paid to do it by a polar bear.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. That bear knew what was coming.
How did Shackelford die? Like, it has to be froze to death.
Shackleton? I can't have you say Shackelford anymore. It's Shackleton.
Shackelford. Yeah. Shackleton.
Yeah. He died, I believe, and someone's going to yell at this. I believe he died trying to find the Northwest Passage. So he got caught in the frozen tundra.
There we go.
And died. Everybody died. Everybody, there's a like British people love it. British people love it because there was like a mini series called Shackleton that my dad adored, where it's all just suffering. It's just fucking bleak suffering for 6 episodes, and they're so fucking hard for it. They love it.
I'm shocked how old Ernst was. I know that it's Shackleton, but I'm looking at Ernest fucking Shackleton's face.
Yeah.
The reason why I thought Shackleford is he looks way more like a Shackleford than a Shackleton. Because like Shackleton.
That is not why you thought that. That is you. That is you.
It is. You can't. You do not know my mind, sir.
You were wrong.
There we go. So much quieter. I'm not saying that I wasn't wrong. I'm saying I was wrong. What I'm saying is this is a glimpse behind the curtain.
This is you're like Bert Kreischer when he says Ben Affleck.
Oh my
God! And he said it wrong once, and now he has to commit to the bit.
I have to say this about Bert Kreischer's fame is much like me with podcasts, which we've touched on. I was with Bert Kreischer. I remember the JRE when he told the machine story. I used to play that for people when they were hungover because it's just such a good story that everyone's like,
"It's a great story.
Yeah, let's go get some breakfast." It's great. I also am like, all right, this guy, just go to rehab, buddy. I'm really now concerned for your health. Like he is. You are red. You're a red man.
It's crazy how much his like friends and loved ones on podcasts are like, Bert's gonna die, right? Yeah, we're trying to save him, but he's gonna die. He's not.
Like it really bothers me because I'm like, I just like you don't need to do this.
But he does, John. That's the nature of addiction.
Okay, get this. Okay, I think I was actually closer with my made up Shackleton was shot by his mistress than I ever fucking realized. So I haven't gotten to where Shackleton has died on his Wikipedia page, but I just glimpsed these 2 words. Lecture circuit.
Oh, never a good sign.
That's not good. That's not good. No, he didn't. I think when
unless you're Mark Twain. No.
And even then,
or Oscar Wilde. I'll give it to Wilde. But everyone else, fuck off.
Also, I was listening to a podcast on Oscar Wilde. This is just a tangent. He wasn't jailed for having an affair with what's his fucking face from the play that they always portray. It wasn't that guy. It was 2 other like prostitutes. It was like sex workers. He was caught with sex workers. Was the charge?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was sodomy. I thought it was gay stuff.
Oh, it was. It not to take away from that. It was just who he was doing that with was different than I always thought.
Oh, okay. In like biopics, because I haven't watched any biopics and stuff. I've read some of his work, but I haven't read like a biography of him.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Or like I like The Importance of Being Earnest, but like the Portrait of Dorian Gray is fine. And like, yeah, he said like 2 witty things, but I like Victorian society can eat my asshole. I choose not to engage with any English culture because, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, when it ceases to be part of our lives, the human race will attain oneness.
Yeah, I've been over this before. I refuse to engage in English culture. I don't want. I've been watching. I've been trying to watch Secret Invasion, the new Marvel thing, but it's so boring that it's taken me a week and a half to make it through an episode and a half.
Listen, I watched Loki.
But Olivia Colman's in it, and I keep just fast forwarding through her, and she's brilliant.
I mean, I really didn't. What was the favorite? The Olivia Colman movie where she's the queen and she
that was so good with Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz. God damn, that movie was good.
That movie was a real. I know who I can get along with on this plane movie because there's about a 6-month period where you just walk down the aisle to that bathroom and you'd see who was watching it and you'd be like, yeah, I can hang out with you people.
I'm glad to know I'm not the only person who judges people on planes that way because I fully judge people on planes that way. I look at all the screens.
Is it not a societal thing? If it is, because I assume this was a hack topic because I wrote it in my joke book and that I wasn't gonna. I thought that this is crazy. Do you do this too? Because I'm now doing this as a joke.
I absolutely do this every time I walk down a plane. 100%. I look at everyone's screen and I go, trash. Fuck you.
The people and you know that are just watching the flight map, I check to see if they're asleep. If they're awake, I now know who is I now know who will be killed by the terrorist who tries to take over this plane. It's this fucking rube right here. Yeah, watch the flight map. Make the fight go faster, you fucking dick.
The ones that bother me the most, even more than like bad movies, because I will only watch movies on planes that I won't watch anywhere else. That's like
of course.
That's a rule that I have. I don't watch good movies. But when someone's watching something that is big and cinematic, and the whole point is the scope of it, like Blade Runner 2049, Dune, these like huge fucking beautiful set pieces, and they're watching on this tiny little screen up in the sky. I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, you don't even like yourself. This is bullshit.
Disagree. I am not someone who just will be able to sit down and watch them. It just doesn't happen. So that is my time to catch up on the movies of the year. Mine is like, you can only watch new movies. And the best was going from England to Australia in those years, because I want to burn all the Academy Award nominee Best Pictures.
Okay.
Carl Donnelly turned me on to this, which is 2 glasses of red wine, and you start watching Oscar winners, and you just say, you save the really sad one for the end. You have a little cry that tires you out. You wake up in Australia, and I got to tell you, best advice for that flight, because
that's really good.
Because you're onto the second leg, so you're onto the 14-hour one, so you're getting your food by the time you're wrapping up that last really weepy film.
Yeah,
and you are tuckered out, like you are. Sayonara.
I can't imagine watching a good movie on a plane. I will either rewatch a comfort movie, but like aside from the first one, the only Fast and Furious movies I've ever seen on a plane.
I've never watched a single one of them, and this is much like Lion King. It's now a principal thing, because do you know how angry I only saw the Lion King in 2015?
Okay, that's too old. It's not going to resonate.
No, but it was also, I was 8 and the Genie was still in theaters. So people were like, let's go see this new Disney film. And I would be like, go fuck yourselves. We're going to go see.
Do you mean Aladdin?
Aladdin, that's the one. What did I call it?
The Genie. That's like fully, I mean, Robin Williams stole the movie. He stole the film.
That's why I was going. I'm not like, what did I become? I became a stand-up comedian? Like, where do you fucking think this came from? Yeah, no, we're going to see the Genie film. I'm not going to see Oh, his dad dies and it's sad. Go fuck yourself, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh. Lion King bangs. It's a great movie.
It's just,
so what were you gonna say?
Just a sidebar. Home Improvement side character. The actor who played Brad on Home Improvement. He is now a
porn star,
crypto grifter.
Dix Zachary something.
Yeah.
Who's still a crypto grifter?
This is exactly my point.
Who's still doing that? That's like mining for gold now.
I mean, people are still in it. You know what I mean?
Just sifting through fucking dirt. You know, whoa, flakes. Get the fuck out of here.
So I think, what is crypto worth right now? But the joke is, I think it's crypto's, let's say, worth 5,000. It's like, cool. Crypto has 6,000 left to lose.
Yeah. Like I own $50 of Ethereum that I bought just as a like, let's just get it and then just watch it. And I haven't looked at it in 2 years, but
I mean,
I assume I've lost $35.
There's some periods in the last, let me just say, I'm aware vaguely of your finances.
Yeah.
In that I'm aware that there are none.
Yeah.
You may want to have checked that about 18 months ago.
Yeah. Well, oh no, it was just after that, like the big thing had happened. So I guess it was 18 months ago when I did it. So it was just after the big thing, and then it dropped off and it got like a little normal. And then I was like, I have just $50 and I'm in my apartment and I can't do anything. Let's just get this. And then when my friends go, do you have anything? I go, I have some Ethereum, and that's the end. I don't have to like explain myself. I don't have to be pitched anything. It was $50 investment and not hearing the fucking
such an error, because I was such a cunt about crypto.
Yeah.
All of my friends, like I was a dick about it. I was like, you know, this guy at a conversation in a bar. No. You know that guy? No.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not moving off of the subject. I have more to say. I've been that guy. You understand? I heard about Jeffrey Epstein in 2013. I've been told that crypto is the future for 10 fucking years or something. Maybe 8. But it's been a long fucking time, and now they just can't say anything because I was right. I
remember hearing about it when I think I was at McGill, and it was this new idea and this decentralized currency, and I was like, that's an interesting idea. I'm curious to see where it goes. I almost bought some outside the fucking comedy cafe in the first year that I was in London because they had a Bitcoin machine in Old Street Station.
Yes, they did.
and you could buy a whole Bitcoin for $10 or £10, and I couldn't afford £10.
Oh my God.
So I was like, oh well, I could have made a $41,990
Yeah.
return on my investment. Yeah, when that peaked out, there was a couple days of I wish I'd invested in IBM in the '60s.
Yeah, but not me. Because I knew what was coming. Because also, here's what no one talked about in those moments when those high peaks. Very few people sold.
Oh yeah, everybody was holding because they're fucking insane.
Yeah, like there's a couple of people that I just wonder what are they doing now? Because I know some people that went deep into that hole.
I was seeing people double down. They were like, well, if it's jumped this much, it can only go up. So people like lost their house.
I know.
People, oh man. And like the stories on there of like they didn't tell their wife and then it crashed.
Oh no.
And these like long posts of like, I threw all our life savings into this and I didn't tell my wife and now she's gonna leave me and I don't know what to do. That was like all of the like crypto subreddit posts for like a month and a half.
I love that I love that I was poor for as long as I was. I really think it's the best thing that can happen to you. Do you understand how good I am at just like, no, absolutely not. I know what it takes to earn that money. Sir, I've slept in a bus station. You cannot fuck with me. Like, what are you gonna fucking do? Sir, I smoked cigarettes partly because I was addicted and partly because I had a job where I needed to do something that wasn't waiting.
Yes.
So what do you fucking want from me?
Yeah. I'm enjoying now. Now I'm earning like pretty good money at this job. And just seeing money in my bank account is so silly.
It's ridiculous. Also,
it makes me laugh so hard where I'm like, shut up. For real?
I'm at a place where I could eat at a restaurant and like most restaurants every meal and it wouldn't really affect my life.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I'm supposed to do now. Like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do.
Well, I went out and I bought like a nice pair of prescription sunglasses that are supposed to come in next week. And when I bought it, I was like, it was a fair chunk of money. It was a few $100. And when I walked out, I was like, oh, I just spent that and I'm fine.
Yeah. Of course.
What the hell? Like, it's been... Sadaf and I, when we were like, we would sit around and we would talk about like goals, like financial goals. And my short-term goal was I just want to be able to go to the pub and get around for my friends and not be like, ugh.
Oh, yes. Well, we all would like that. I mean, we can't do that. We'll always be going, because we're in the UK and it's dangerous there. When are you going to go back? That's the question. I don't feel like you're going back anytime soon.
I have a couple other places I want to go first. I will go back. Like I miss some of my friends, and there aren't really. You know what I don't miss is British audiences.
No, they're the hardest audiences in the world.
But it was like, but especially I had like, I don't know that I've ever had less in common with a group of people in my life than every British comedy audience. And so the amount of contorting around my ideas and stories that I had to do to make them palatable was so fucking exhausting that I have no desire to entertain them anymore.
It's an interesting thing. Essentially what it is everything has to come back to them. It was Brendan Burns' greatest bit ever. The British sense of humor isn't good. Your sense of humor is just you sit there and wait for the moment where we say British. And it's the best joke he's ever written. It's such a good joke. And
it's great.
It's so true. And it's absolutely correct. Like I feel I started having stress dreams this week because I'm just not working on my Ember show because it's like it did Melbourne. If I touch it, I'll make it worse. The jokes are good.
Yeah.
And we're doing that. There's no fucking awards. There's no nothing. This festival is literally 30 chances for me to fucking make an hour tight as fuck so I can film it in Toronto in October.
Yeah.
What are we fucking doing here, boyos?
But that's great. That's what a friend is for.
That's the thing. And I don't And I think like it's also just going to be like, what are we worried about now? Like it's like the last one that mattered was in 2019. The TV people aren't coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Where are
I
they
think
going to
we're all
go though?
gonna,
Where are they going to go? Because they got to go somewhere.
they're going to
They got
stay
to
in
go somewhere.
London. They'll go to Montreal and they'll stay in London.
They'll go to
And
Soho Theater. That's where they'll go.
Their expense accounts have all been massively cut because everyone hears UK is 20% inflation difference in certain sectors between where you're sat in the UK. 20%.
Whoa.
Yeah. The BMI of my penis in inflation.
I used to when I was younger, I always weighed more than I looked, and then I got kind of fat, and I looked just right. And but when I was younger, I always weighed a lot more than I looked like I did. And when people were like surprised, I would always say, "I have a very dense penis," and that was very much enjoyed by some people, and other people were strangers.
Well,
And
here's the thing: is the internet has made us all much more comfortable with directness and honesty. Like there was a time where you just wouldn't talk about certain things. I was thinking about this as where like people like you can't swear on like in the first 3 minutes of YouTube videos now, and you can't have like you have to bleep out content on Instagram, and it's like motherfuckers. Tub Girl was sent to me on a computer in my high school.
Lemon Party.
Yeah, the fucking cat's out of the bag, motherfuckers. Like
we watched the Pain Olympics.
Oh God, Mr. Fucking Hands.
Oh my God.
We watched a guy get fucked to death by a horse. We're done.
You can't censor that. That's art.
That's who we are.
Yeah. I mean, how many beheading videos are on YouTube for years?
YouTube downloaded on people's computers at parties I went to. I remember a guy who really changed forever. So Montreal is controlled by the Hells Angels in a way that you cannot comprehend. And that, like you're not allowed to be a surface level drug dealer in some of the years I lived in Montreal.
That sounds right.
The Hells Angels, that is not acceptable. We control everything. You have to call a promotional service is what they're called. And they show up on a bicycle and you buy whatever you want. Up into including at my wedding, a bunch of people wanted drugs and never got any because they didn't believe me when I was like, go into any of these bars and ask the bartender for like a promo number or like throw that phrase around and you'll Rockstar Promotions or whatever the promo guys I used to know have become after a few raids will become evident, and they didn't believe me. But it's the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember when I got to Montreal and I was working in bars, and I befriended this guy Graham Warner because we knew like we came from the same cocktail world. Mm-hmm. So British bartenders recommended me to him, and then that's how I sort of got started in the scene out there. And I was asking him, I was like, "What's the scene like? Like, what's going on?" He's like, well, Saint Laurent has like some cool bars, some dives, some night. It's like, but that's where a lot of the hub of the nightlife is. And he said, but everyone pays protection money to this Hells Angels, so just know that. Yeah. And he said, except for this one bar. A couple weeks ago, this one bar didn't pay, and it was like a new bar. And he said, I'm not fucking paying you. What the hell are you talking about? And I was like, oh, how's that going? He's like, well, we're all waiting. And then, like, I think a week and a half later, that bar just burned down.
Yeah, there you go.
Was just gone. And everybody went, oh, okay, all right, cool.
So this guy was a friend of a friend. This guy sucked, such baggy pants. And he briefly was a drug dealer. He had beheading videos that he would put on if you were smoking weed at his house and be like, isn't this crazy?
What an asshole.
Sir, what an opposite experience.
Yeah.
By the way, no wonder I didn't like smoking weed in those days. The people I did it with sucked. Anyway, he was a pot dealer, very good weed, as I recall. And he woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and three guys, as he described it, in black blazers, said, "Hey, this is your name. This is your. This is what you're majored at in Concordia," and literally said in your fridge and described where his like cell stash was. This we'll be taking that. You have the summer off, and literally was like, you have the summer off from school, and that's really nice. As punishment, you're not allowed in the city until the first day of Concordia University. And if we find out you're here, well, what happens happens. And he was like, what? And then like just see you later, man. That's the deal.
Shit.
Yeah. Like it was such an interesting thing to have lived through. I was a waiter, and like I've said this definitely on streams before, that I served the lawyer and the son of the mob boss of Montreal.
Okay.
John Rizzuto, who has later died, and his lawyer used to
Yeah.
get diet tips from me because I just lost over 100 pounds, and
Yeah.
like literally had to be taken aside by my manager, and he was just like, "Hey, that's who they are. They and he was like, they like the same server. People be around, so you just got to work Fridays. They'll tip you at like an X amount. It's like it'll just be in an envelope. If they ask you any like to do them a favor, say no and don't do anything for them."
Yeah.
And I went, understood, great. And he was like, good. And I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And it was great. They tipped me so much money. Like
Yeah.
like
I got a wild tip the other day. It was the end of the day. I kept wanting to be cut, and then these like two, they couldn't have been more than like 25, 26-year-old girls. It was one of their birthdays. They were kind of dressed up. They were like, as soon as they sat down, I was like, hey, what's going on? They were like, it's their birthday. We're having a big time. We would like this. And they had like very specific orders. Like they were like, before anything, we want a side of the most burnt bacon you can make us. We wanted like ashes in our hands. And I was like, all right, cool. Like these are just like beautiful young blonde women. And I was like, okay, cool. And like we had a nice time.
I'm gonna be very disappointed if this ends with you it's just a braggadocious story. Then I had sex with them.
Oh no, that would be great though.
Certainly. That was an Ashley story.
But and then so like they were great, really fun, enjoyed serving them, and then at the end, like I billed them, their bill was $115, and then I was like, and then put it through, and I was like, would you like a copy? She goes, no, that's great, like thank you so much. And then they went to leave, and I looked down at it. They tipped me $100 on a $115 bill. It was so much that I actually stopped them, and I was like, I'm sorry, I think you made a mistake. And she's like, no, we're good. Like, thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye. And I was like, what the fuck, man?
I have this is a very episode heavy on. I have a family member that Chris could definitely guess who is the biggest tipper in my family by a country mile. And like
your grandma?
No, not my grandma. You're close.
Yeah.
It is amazing when the service. I always want to like grab a server when a server is not good. Like I'm always just like I always want to be like no.
Not this one.
A game. Look
at
me. A game. Because it's not like he's not crazy, but like if it's good, like you my friend, welcome to El Dorado. But like,
that's going to cover 2 or 3 tables that stiff you. That's
what I'm saying. Like, and I wish there was a way like you could make a reservation of just be like, and like at the end to just be like, this is a gold star. You know, like you just I want to always indicate. It's the thing that I used to love doing in British pubs. That because tipping is de rigueur, and I just don't have the money to do it here. Which is if it was a really crowded pub. This was a big move I would use in Edinburgh bars.
Oh yeah.
Is you just give one of the bartenders £20, and guess what? You do not do.
Wait.
You don't wait.
Never. Well, I think I've told this on here before, but when one of my friends got married like really young, we tried to talk about it, but he wouldn't listen. They're divorced now. He's much happier. But we took him out on his bachelor party. I was his best man, so it was like my duty to please that booty. And we went out. We got him. We started drinking early. I think we were like 22 maybe, and started drinking early. Went to the strip club. And then we went to a nightclub. And we got to the nightclub before it was busy. We did that on purpose because it was 12 dudes. So we're like, they're just happy to have money. We're gonna get there at 9, and we're just gonna wait for it to fill up.
Yeah.
And we walked in. We're all wearing matching T-shirts like dickheads, and I walked in. I walked up to the bartender and I was like, "Hey man, what's your name?" And he told me his name. I was like, "Hi, I'm Chris." And I shook his hand and I pulled, I think it was like $100 out of my pocket, and I just put it in his tip jar. And I was like, "Anyone in this shirt?" And he was like, "I got you, man." And then the groom to be just fell. He just fell on the ground. He wasn't even he was just standing, and then he wasn't standing anymore. And I looked at him on the ground. And then I looked at the bartender. Bartender said, "I didn't see anything." I was like, "Yeah, nice."
This is the thing. I'll always remember when I was a bouncer on St. Patrick's Day one time in Grumpy's, and a woman in the front of the line, when a guy walked up and gave me $20, and I went, "There you go." And she went, "Hey, you just let that guy in." And I went, "Yeah, he bribed me."
Yeah.
She went, and I'll never forget. She went, "What?" And I went, "Yeah, what do you think this is?" And she was like, "Oh." And then I remember she was her boyfriend, and he gave me $20, and I went, "There you go." And then like, the other people were like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, what do you think I'm doing out here? And they were like 10 people, like all just like begrudgingly just bribed me. And then Ram came out and was like, "You have to actually not do that. There's a bunch of extra people in here now." And I was like, "You said I could take bribes." And he was like, "That's true. That's true." I'll never forget that. I'll never forget when I said you could say, I remember that being, that should not have worked. And he was just like, of course. Yes. No, I had forgotten that this is the system. Yeah, understood. Oh, it was the best. Yeah,
I thought that was going to end with you were just outside smoking, but where you were wearing a black T-shirt. You just stopped people because it was funny.
No,
and then you just walked into the bar and sat down next to them and spent their money in front of them.
Oh my god, no! Oh my god, I made so much money. I remember, like, I passed out. I remember I walked home. I remember I walked into Brutopia. This was one of the few times in my life. Have you ever been able to be aware you've just blacked out? So what happened is, what I do when I start like really boozing hard is I will literally because I have a tendency to black out, and I just get the fear and I hate it.
Yeah,
so I train myself after we get to like after you've hit like pint 6 or 7 in the noodle, just I go, "What just happened?" And then if I can remember it, I go, "Well, like, you haven't blacked out." Yes. And
that's great.
It's fucking great, because what does happen, and this was the first instance. So I remember it so specifically. Is I walked into Brutopia, and I remember being at the top of the stairs as you're going in, and apparently I got to like in at the bar. I looked at Ram and Garth and just went, "Gentlemen, I blacked out. I'll be getting a cab." And I woke up the next morning, and there was just money in like everything that was a pocket of my jacket. Like it was like, thank God for the Hells Angels in Montreal, because you can walk down the street, especially in that area. It's a very different city now. It's a weird, cool time where you could walk down the street with $1 million strapped to your chest. And like, for example, we know a comedian who got robbed in Montreal, and the police made fun of him. He's like, "You got mugged here? You guys are fucking stupid." Like, and they were like, "What are you doing? What were you doing?" And then he was like, "We were doing this, this, and this." And like one of them was like he was wearing like a Leafs shirt, and he's like, "Wearing that?" And they were like, like, "That's what happened." And he like told me the story. There's a McDonald's on St. Catherine. He's like, so we were like stood there, and I was like, "Whoa, you don't stand there." And then he's like,
no.
And he's like, 3 people told us that, and I was like, "Yeah, this is why you got robbed. Like, what are you fucking who?" This is the thing with living in a fucking sketchy like part of town, which I was lucky enough to do, is that doesn't happen to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Head on a swivel.
Where were we? Well, I was walking. We're doing the Winnipeg Comedy Festival, and we were walking. We were all sharing J's outside, and like a cop did the boop 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 boop, and like 3 people were like just out of instinct, and like didn't realize that I'd taken 2 of the joints, and I just hid them in my hoodie and was like walking already away.
Yeah.
Like, "Why'd you do that?" I was like, "That's instinct." And they're like, "Why'd you immediately walk away?" It's like, "I'm not going to stand here in the crowded circle surrounded by smoke."
Yeah.
Like, what? Don't you know how to fucking go, bro?
Yeah. I remember I was smoking weed in the alley behind Grumpy's, like, and not like that side one, but like when you come around the corner, and there's those little steps there. So we're sitting there, we're just smoking.
So many people who have been fingered on those steps. Like
I fingered half of them.
You're another one. Then that adds so many. There's so many people who've been fingered on those steps.
But I was so we're just out there, we're just talking and laughing and smoking, and then this cop started like driving down the alley. I remember I was holding the joint, and I just sort of dropped my arm to my side, and then I just loosely just let the joint go, and let it drop on the ground, and then I put my foot over it, but it kept my heel up a little bit, so I didn't quite squish it. And I remember then the cops just like slowly drove past us, and they looked at us, and we were just chill, and they were like, but then they kept driving. I remember Stevie looked at me, he's like, "That's the smoothest I've ever seen anyone deal with cops." And I was like, "Yeah, I live in shitty neighborhoods, but this is a regular thing."
It's like the same thing of like, it's also that sort of thing when what I was talking about this with someone about like good cops. Like it's also that sort of thing of in this situation, what is in the current narrative when we're dealing with police, and of course ACAB for old school
Oh,
ACAB.
forever. Yeah.
But I feel like there needs to be a designated rank, like because there's always the one reasonable cop in that situation. There'll
Yeah.
be 8 guys who should be playing for the Detroit Red Wings, but a cocaine night and she's pregnant and now they're here. But
Yeah.
the one guy who bought into the bullshit, that's the one I need to parlay with because that guy, reasonable as fuck. I got a speeding ticket going to San Francisco. I got one of these cops. Really good situation.
The
Literally
best.
rolled down the window and he went, "I pulled you over for speeding." And I went, "Yes, you did." And he went, "So you're gonna just," and because there's like a whole process you like can admit not. And he was like, and he just skipped to the end. He's like, "All right, I'll write you the citation, license and registration." I went right there, and he was like, and he went, "All right, this is easy." And he literally came back and he went, "I put your speed down. Thanks very much. Thank you." And then like gone. Like, and it's just like, yeah, well, what are we doing here? You're gonna argue with like, no.
No. And the number of times that like cops have stopped me for doing things that I shouldn't have been doing, and
that's the game.
I was just, and it wasn't like terrible things. I was just a mischievous youth, and but like the number of times they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, this." They go, "You shouldn't be doing that." I'm like, "I know, man. I don't know. I was just feeling silly. Like, sorry, buddy." And they go, "Okay, well, don't do it again." I'm like, "Yeah, cool, no problem. Thanks."
Yeah.
See you. And I mean, listen, part of that's because I'm white, and part of it's because I'm charming.
Oh, certainly.
But also, part of it's because I caught the right police officer. It was a confluence of things.
Best police officer interaction ever was I once was hard speeding in northern Canada, where the highway literally goes from a 2-lane highway into a 4-lane highway, and they hide in a gulch.
Of course, yeah.
Because you just open it up.
Yeah.
And this guy, I was doing $160. Like I think I was listening to Tom Petty. Like, first of all, Into the Great Wide Open isn't just a song, Chris. And he fucking pulled
it's an invitation.
It certainly is. And pulled me over in my mom's Toyota Matrix. And literally, I literally I went boom by him. And I just was like, I literally just pulled over. And then I just saw him come out, turn the sirens on. Like, I've never been able to see a human being go, the fuck? The sirens pull up, come up to me. I know that people in the chat have heard the story. And they really went, "How did you know I was coming?" And I was like, "Oh, I was going fast."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah." And he was like, he's like, "I'm giving you 20 over." He's like, "That's the craziest thing I've ever seen." I said, "What was I gonna do? Run?" Like I knew what was happening.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there was I heard a story once of like, I think a cop was telling it. I can't remember where I heard it. It was in a bar somewhere. I was like, it was a wait, like speed trap kind of thing, you're parked off in the darkness and someone blows by, and this guy in like a souped up Porsche flew past him, and the cop's like, "Well, I'm not gonna catch this guy, but here we go." And so pulls out, kicks on the sirens, and the Porsche was like just pulled over just immediately.
What are we gonna do here?
And the cop pulled up and was like, "I wasn't expecting, you could have I was never going to catch you." He's like, "Yeah, but you caught me, Yeah, I was wrong. Fair enough." The cop's
this is the thing. Wow. This is my one thing that we have lost is we've lost there was and this very much is privilege talking, but there was a game vibe to it a little bit, which is like, you got me. Like, this is the thing the Mafia talked about. The guy who is John Gotti's mentor, Neil Delacroce, really killed a guy for being rude to a cop while he was being arrested, or definitely beat the shit out of a couple of people. There's a very famous story during the commission trial that one of the defendants had to apologize to an FBI agent because he had an outburst, and they were like, "No, you don't," because they're like, "This is their job, fuckos. Like, what do you think? Yeah. Like, we are. Let's not forget criminals. Like we. Yeah. That's what I was expecting with the mob. Like, we're thieves. Like you can't. Yeah. Like, these fucking cops, and it's like these fucking cops. Like I murdered a man. Like what are you talking about? You don't get to. No. Like that was like Carlo Gambino's big thing of like, but we're the bad guys. Like no, we have to be very careful. They're allowed to try and catch us. Like that's how this works. That's sort of the thing with society is we have forgotten the consequences to everything. Everything is always presented with like, what the fuck is this? And you're like, there's consequences to actions.
Yeah.
Like law of unintended consequences, bro. Welcome to fucking hell.
My brother made me laugh when remember the Chameleonaire song Riding Dirty?
Of course.
They see me rolling. They hate it. And I remember my brother, like when that came on, he just looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, no, fuck the cops for doing their job. You just committed a crime. You're riding dirty, and yeah, they're trying to catch you because that's their job."
Yeah, it's unreasonable that they would then catch you and then shoot you 8 times and be like, well,
100%. Yeah,
speeding
I'm not
toward
saying.
school. No,
Yeah.
completely. But here's the thing, and this is the problem. This is the problem with everything, is that everything just gets covered in anger, which is like, no, here's what should happen. Is we should change the law, which is if a cop is caught doing that sort of stuff, the other cop has to shoot him in the head. Like literally just
Yeah.
the George Floyd video should have been, oh, I can't breathe. And then Derek Chauvin's head explodes and then the cop thumbs up into the camera. And then this is the part that I wouldn't necessarily agree with, but it would happen. Him and his wife make full love on the street. I don't know why that happened in this.
George Floyd just stands up. They dust him off and they say, "No, you get this one, man. Sorry, buddy."
Yeah, what's your name? It's not important for history. I'll tell you that much for free. Let me tell you what's not about to happen. Dave Chappelle is not about to record an awkward special in a pavilion. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much for free.
That was if you have you heard Roy Wood Jr.'s bit about all cops should get a snitch bonus?
No, but God, that man's good at comedy. Holy shit.
It's so good.
Father Figure is on the Comedy Central YouTube. That is the best I think I'm going to watch it right now. It's
Holy
the
shit,
best
it's so
stand-up
good.
special of the last 10 years. The Titanic joke is amazing. That he fucked her so good she
That's the one for me is the bit about how black people don't write patriotic songs.
Oh my God.
That bit is
They just let you know what cities are safe.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Miami.
Yeah, I love when he's arguing with his uncle, and his uncle's like, "What about Living in America? James Brown. That was in Rocky, patriotic song." And he's like, "First of all, that song played when Apollo Creed died. Michael B. Jordan lost his daddy that day." And he's like, and if you listen close, at the end, all he does is he just names all the cities that are okay. Brooklyn, Baltimore, Atlanta.
It also breaks all of my rules. He's wearing a very busy coat, which, as everyone who's listened to this program knows, I do not go in for. I don't go in for that. I'd like a nice neutral attire or a very busy band shirt, but that's just for me. Sidebar, come to the Edinburgh Festival. You can come see 2 shirts that are the most expensive articles of clothing I ever bought, because I did a birthday treat to myself using a vintage clothing store in Paris, France's Instagram account. Long story short, I spent some euros.
Yep.
Well, Chris, we're almost at the end of our final You and Me episode of the stream. How do you feel? We started it. I had a broken shoulder and you had a wife, and I can YMCA again, and there's a woman in your bed. So look at us. If not, we're the same.
Hell of a time. Hell of a time. Thank you to everyone. I mean, we'll do all this in the last one, but thanks for riding with us.
Yeah, exactly.
You
I
know?
feel like this is so the next one's going to be like the last episode of Seinfeld, and this is the Puerto Rican Day Parade episode, which is you always go back and go, yep, they were right to end this show.
Yeah. Oh, also, just in case anyone's wondering, the reason Ashley's not here this week is she had a terrible allergic reaction to something, and so she can't be here. That's what happened. It's very Ashley, and I kind of love it.
I wanted also noted that Chris has actually got the admin wrong. Ashley didn't think she could make it because she had to work, and then realized she could make it, and then couldn't make it because she had an allergic reaction.
Yeah, I just skipped the first part, but
no,
yeah.
The whole thing is the important thing, because you need it's even more this program. From the jaws of defeat, I've snatched a victory that I have actually turned into a defeat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
how did the baseball game go? I lost at basketball.
All right, let's start the show, and then we'll get out of here. We love you guys. We will see you July 8th, 10 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Western, 5 p.m. Toronto time.
I have to go to a show 5 hours after we start broadcasting, and Ashley thinks we're leaving after 2 hours. Guess again. Guess again. Pack a lunch. We're at least doing 2:15. We'll at least go to 2 hours and 15 minutes on July the 8th. We will see you there.
It's going to be a silly old time. Let's start the show and end the show. We love you.
Oh no, the Chris, John, and Irish Ashley combine to make the ultimate team, better than any wet dream. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream. John's the CEO and Boomer. Ashley's the real leader. Chris brings the vibes and juices as our enjoyment increases. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream.
And that's all. Penis into her vagina. And that's all.
July 8th. We will see you all on July 8th. Very excited for it.
And that's
We
called
love you.
sexual assault.
We love you.